Heavy floods hit Qionghai, Hainan after heavy rain. Farmland villages were flooded and water poured into the city.
开始，上游牛鹿岭水库泄洪，万泉河水位快速上涨，下游琼海市区和123个村庄受淹。
Since the 28th, Hainan Island has been experiencing continuous heavy rain and flooding throughout the river basin has occurred in the Wanquan River. Starting in the early hours of the 30th, the Nioliling Reservoir and the upper reaches of the Wanquan River released a flood, causing the water level of the Wanquan River to rise rapidly, and Qionghai City and 123 villages downstream were flooded. The heavy rain stopped on October 31. The local water level in Shibi town, Qionghai City, slowly dropped, and the water flow also stabilized. Although the flood has gradually receded, the affected villagers still face many difficulties. The Qionghai Qingmei Fire Reinforcement Team is racing against time to deliver essential supplies to villagers in the flooded area and search for people who need to be transported.
真实情况，你报道啊。
Firefighters are carefully checking the flooded houses, especially the gas tanks that are submerged in water. Rescuers remind villagers not to use them carelessly to prevent potential safety hazards. When the reporter arrived in Qionghai City at noon that day, the rain was still falling. Standing on the Jiaji Bridge and looking out, the Wanquan River was flowing rapidly and turbid, and the roads, farmland, trees, and houses in the distance were submerged in water. The floodwaters under the bridge also surged over the embankment and continued to flow into the city. In the Qionghai urban area, the main road, Qionghai Road, was heavily flooded, making it impossible for vehicles to pass through. Several rescue rubber boats were driving around to move the stranded people. On Qionghai Road near the Wanquan River, the road turned into a river, and some cars were flooded up to their roofs. Residents carefully crossed the water along the edge of the house. Stu Shengi, who runs a restaurant on Qionghai Road, said that this year's flood will exceed the flood in 2013. The government had notified him of the flood release in advance if he moved the things he needed to higher ground. Fortunately, there was no damage. The powerful Typhoon Haiyan in November 2013 caused massive flooding in villages on both sides of the Wanquan River in Qionghai City, affecting 183,000 people. Liu Gong, director of the Publicity and Training Division of the Hainan Provincial Emergency Management Department, told reporters that during this heavy rainfall, Qionghai City arranged to evacuate people based on the highest flood conditions in 2013 and 2010. By noon that day, 7,168 people had been evacuated. That afternoon, the engines of Qionghai Bo International Airport roared, and helicopters carrying fire rescue personnel and supplies took off and landed one after another. The person in charge of the Hainan Provincial Fire and Rescue Corps revealed that 56 fire trucks, 292 rescue personnel, 48 boats, and 19 high-powered handheld motor pumps had been dispatched from Haikou Sanya and other places to cross the region to help Qionghai. The reporter learned that Shibi Town, Longjing Town, Jiaji Town, Bo'o Town, and other places along the Wanquan River in Qionghai City were severely flooded, and highway traffic was blocked to avoid risks such as short circuits and facility leakage. The electricity department took emergency measures to stop the power supply action. The terrain at home is high, but the water has entered the yard and I can't get out anymore. Yang Quanlian, a villager in Jemton Village, Jiaji Town, told reporters by phone that the houses were in low-lying areas. The village was flooded. The water and electricity were cut off at around 11 o'clock and the house was closed. With emergency lighting, basic life can be guaranteed. In Tingzhou Village, Mokan Village Committee, Bo'o City, the flood has reached the roof of the bungalow and fire rescue workers are using kayaks to search and rescue trapped people from house to house. Pang Kiming, deputy mayor of Bo'o City, Qionghai City, said that more than 150 fire rescue personnel and township and village cadres organized the transfer of personnel that day, and more than 400 villagers could all be transferred to the centralized resettlement site in Bo'o City by 8 o'clock p.m. that day. There will be people on site. Hot water, electricity supply, lighting, and heating are guaranteed. In the evening, the rescue and transfer work in Qionghai City was still ongoing, but the rain had stopped. The Hainan Provincial Meteorological Observatory predicted that the heavy rainfall process on Hainan Island would end that night.